Hey, how are you? Oh, never mind. Okay, so.
I thought you were going to sing a song this time.
No, I'm not. I told you, it's going to be like a treat.
Oh, she's making.
From now on, it's going to be a treat.
Hard to get. She's going to make you wait.
Yes, it'll be a treat. So today's
Why
car
don't
talk.
we do a poll that says pay $1 to answer this poll, and do you want Leanne to? We did ask if they wanted you to sing, and they all said yes.
No,
So-
not all, but you know.
No, they said yes.
All right. So today's car talk is about something very interesting that we've noticed.
Okay.
So we have noticed that back when we were kids, when there were dinosaurs, okay,
Close.
back when we were kids, something that we would see all the time in our classroom settings
Yep.
was kids with casts, kids with stitches, Band-Aids, all these different things. And
Do you know I always wanted a cast?
oh, always.
I always wanted a cast.
Just to have people sign
Exactly.
it, right?
It was so cool. And
Oh
back
my
in my
God.
day, they were just white plaster. There was
yeah.
no pink or blue or
Colors
orange.
and
you know?
designs, yeah.
I always wanted a
But
cast.
it's very rare if you see a child with a cast or with the Band-Aid with the stitches. At one point, my kids had this arm in a sling and the other one had this arm in the sling. So I'm like, oh my goodness. But anyway.
And you didn't get reported?
I'm surprised, but I didn't. But
Did they take your kids into separate rooms to say,
Yeah.
are you safe at home?
Yeah,
Did your mother do that to you?
Well, I'm sure.
Anyway.
Yeah. But it's something to think about because why are we not seeing
Yep.
as many injuries?
How
And
come we don't have a
want
bunch of
injuries.
stitches here and here?
Yeah,
I remember
we-
kids always.
Just to be clear, we don't want children to be hurt, but when there's no risky play in children's lives,
Yep.
what we see is, no injuries. And think about any time
true.
you got stitches or anytime someone in your family got a cat. My 2 kids, it's like we have these stories and this information, and you learn so much through that, through that experience in growing up. It's just part of growing up, I think. But we never see it anymore. We never see it.
Well, I think the reason is because a lot of kids these days are kind of bubble wrapped. At least in the United States, we're more of a bubble wrap society, and we have helicopter parenting. And educators are nervous that, oh my God, I can't let them do that. They might fall. They might get hurt.
Exactly.
They might, stub their toe. They might, we feel this protective need to really hover
Yeah.
over kids. Be careful. Don't do that. Watch out. You might fall. You might get hurt.
We learn some of our best lessons when we fail at something. And that feeling might be falling off something, getting hurt, falling off something, needing a Band-Aid, whatever. But we need to
Yep.
do that. Those are some
Yep.
of our best lessons. And then when you actually accomplish whatever it is we were trying to do, you feel so good about it.
And kids also need to get dirty.
Oh.
I remember always having dirt under my fingernails
Yep.
and dirty everywhere because I was busy. My feet
absolutely.
in the
Black.
summertime, my feet were black on the
Black,
bottom. My
I
mother
know.
would sit us up on the counter with nail polish remover to get the
Oh.
pitch off of the
Unbelievable.
sap and everything,
Yes.
Kids nowadays don't have those opportunities. And
So,
don't get
yeah.
us wrong. We're not advocating
For
that
injuries.
like you're saying, you're pushing kids off the swing. We're advocating for kids to be able to choose to take a risk that they
And
feel
try
like they
something.
want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you just stand nearby.
Yeah.
We're not saying, let them just go crazy.
This kid needs a cast.
Yeah,
No. We're not saying
that.
that.
No.
Not at all.
But to let them take those opportunities, because the research will tell you, kids who don't take risks when they're young don't know how to assess risk or danger when they get older. So
Key.
they don't understand that, I might be in trouble with this if they don't have opportunities to try things. And
Or I don't have a voice to say I don't want to.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And your job as the educator or the parent is to say, I'm here if you need me, or I'm going to stand a little closer because that's kind of high, without getting a panic.
Right.
Every time you say to a child, watch out, be careful, stop, you might get hurt. What you're teaching them is that they can't trust their own body
Yep.
and that they're not strong.
You're saying, I don't think you're capable. And we want
Exactly.
children to feel capable.
And we know that's not what you mean to say. What you mean to say is, I don't want you to get hurt on my watch.
Right.
I don't want to fill out
And
an
again,
accident report.
nobody
I don't
wants
want you
children
to get hurt. Exactly.
But pay attention. Do you ever see children with casts and stitches or anything like that anymore? Yeah. So think about that.